Hello everyone. I think I see the chat, so hopefully you can also see me. You can see part of where I am with the beautiful flag. So just let me know if you can also hear me or not. Yeah, I see hi Stefan, so I think that is a good sign. That is a good sign. So welcome, welcome everyone. It's good to hear. Oh, I see there's some little more wind now. So we see the full Dutch flag. You may be wondering, what is this flag? This is the Dutch flag, red, white, and blue in this order, and it's a beautiful day. It's really a beautiful day, about 30 degrees Celsius, so quite warm to be honest. And at the other side, by the way, interesting. At the other side, you see that there's a big ship there. Let me zoom in a little. Let's see if I can zoom in. But the ship over there also has the Dutch flag. And to be honest, I am recognizing that ship because that ship is the Amsterdam. It's a sailing ship, the Amsterdam, that is sailing all over the world, sometimes coming in Rotterdam, sometimes coming in other locations. But we are now in Rotterdam. So with a beautiful view over the Maas River or the Meus River, and we see several parts. So if I'm looking now into the direction of the sea, so we still have to go about 35 to 40 kilometers before you reach the seaside. But we are standing in one of the harbors of Rotterdam, and as you can see, it's a really nice weather, beautiful day, really beautiful day, and I am. Want to welcome everyone, of course, over here. So we're gonna do a tour of Rotterdam. I will start in about 10 minutes from now. Look also over here how beautiful the view over the city is. So we see the bridge. Later on, we will go over that bridge, over the Maas River to go into the city center of Rotterdam. I don't know exactly where I will end, by the way. And you can also see I'm a little higher. I'm a little higher at this moment. So we're looking down, and over here we have a tiny little green boat, and that is one of the water taxis. And that's, by the way, an interesting one because this is a water taxi that is using electricity. So, quite new one. You see more and more boats also using electricity. It's going a little less fast, but it is a beautiful way. Well, and if you just came from the Thames River, then this is the next river. Because over here we have the Maas River, one of the big rivers ending in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is basically the delta of some of the biggest European rivers, the Rhine River and the Meus or the Maas River. So and they are both ending here in the city of Rotterdam. And by the way, if we're looking into that direction, and good morning if you're just waking up. Um, Over there, you see far away, maybe if I'm zooming in, you can see there is a windmill over there. That is a windmill in the next city, the city of Schiedam, one of the highest windmills that you have in the Netherlands. And you can really see it from far away because it's sticking out. It's a little higher part than the rest. There's over here, by the way, another water taxi coming. These are the Rotterdam water taxis. So there are taxis, of course, over the road, but there's also a water taxi, and there are several ones coming. They're always yellow and black in that combination. So, and it is a wonderful day. It's really a wonderful day. Oh, I see the flag. The flag is still the Dutch flag is hanging next to me. Little nationalistic stars. I don't have the music of the Netherlands with me. It's maybe for another time. There are several ships now coming inside. So we're still in the pre-tour. So the time to say hi to everyone. Over here we have a cruise ship. No, no, it's more like it's called the pannenkoekenboot, the pancake boat. So it is a sort of an all-you-can-eat concept. Eat as much pancakes as you want while you are sailing through the harbor of Rotterdam. 1 hour sailing, I think, or 1 hour, maybe 90 minutes most of the time. And in that 90 minutes, you can eat as much pancakes as you can. So I've done it one time as a fun day for a friend of mine. And I think we didn't see anything from the city because everyone was just focused to eat as much pancakes as possible. So, and we have over there, you see the tower over there. That is the Euromast, the Euromast. uh, One of the more higher points of Rotterdam. I have been doing a tour from over there, so it's the other side of the river. The other side of the river, and that tower over there is built for already in the 60s, built in the 60s as part of one of the Floriade festivals. So, and how many pancakes did you eat? I cannot remember, but I know that I think the next year I didn't want any pancakes anymore because it was too much. It was really too much. So, and yeah, it is really a sunny day. That is this week. This week it's really good weather. Most probably next week still. So um, I'm just gonna show you my face in a moment. So I'm so here I am. You can see how sunny it is. So I'm really I'm really gonna have to wear my sunglasses because otherwise you cannot see it. And uh, my screen, it's so sunny that even my screen is a little hard to see. Um, so let me check. I'm just checking also the time on my other phone to see when we are gonna start. So let me show you a little more of the area where I am. Just one moment. Okay, let's see. I have to change the screen again. Camera. Flip the camera, and there's a high wheel over there that they're building. It's not ready yet. It's a sort of a theme park in the making, uh, but it's not open yet. And we're looking, by the way, over here over one of the harbors, one of the old harbors that you can see at the other side. It's still in use, so part of it is still in use for training companies, but another part is in use, and we will see that later on for people to live. A lot of the residential areas over here. But just to give you a little the feeling, um, here in front of me, you see some more residential buildings, and then the building over here that you can see with the green roof. That is the top of the tunnel, a tunnel that is going under the Maas River. So we have one of the buildings over there. And if you go to the other side, then you can see in front of the just left from the Euromast, just left from the tower, you see the same building. So that is the other side. So there is a tunnel, and that is only made for people. By the way, there are three different tunnels. There's not one, there are three next to each other. One for cars, one for people walking, and one for people cycling. So it is all next to each other. And it's quite cool that you can cycle through that tunnel. I've been doing that several times when I lived in Rotterdam some years ago. So, so wow, it's cool. And yes, I've left Oscar for this tour because it is too warm for him. Yeah, it is too warm for him. So, and he prefers Amsterdam, not Rotterdam. Oh, in the meantime, I see that the flag over here has to be fixed. So let's fix the flag. So okay, I'm just gonna get it to the other side. There you go. Okay, yes, I fixed the flag. It was because of the wind. Of course, this is gonna happen again. So and then in the meantime, you're maybe wondering, Stefan, where are you? Where are you? You're in the harbor. Yeah, there's a flag next to you. We have a beautiful view. You are a little higher. Yeah, and it has a reason. That is a reason because I am standing here on the SS Rotterdam. The SS Rotterdam, and I can show you already a little. I'm here at the deck at the end of the ship, and this is when I'm looking back. So we see the back part of the ship. I'm gonna tell you a little more about all of this later on when we start the tour. So, and it is a very warm day. I don't even know the temperature. I think it's 30, 31, 32 degrees, something like that. But yeah, it is lovely to have some summer days because we didn't have a lot this season, so we had to wait until September before the summer days were starting. And look now how beautiful the flag is. So at the back part of the ship, when there's still a beautiful telescope where you can watch all the way into the harbor. So, and there's not a cloud in the sky. That's true. That's true. And it stays like this, hopefully, because I'm gonna do another tour later on. So I'm really hoping that it will stay like this. So, okay, I'm just gonna change the screen one more time to show you my face, because I think it's almost time to start the tour. So, uh, just let me show you myself together with the Dutch flag. It can be if you take a postcard of this. Oh, and then when these people are just gone later on, that will be a nice one as a header for the for my Facebook page. So just let me look for one moment. Oh, it's 29. Yeah, so it is time to start this tour. Welcome everyone in the city of Rotterdam. So I'm not in Amsterdam. I'm that guy, Stefan. My name is Stefan. That's normally doing tours in Amsterdam, but now I am in the city of Rotterdam. And to be honest, this is one of the cities that I love the most in the Netherlands. And for what reason do I love it? Because it is so different from all the other Dutch cities. I've been taking you in the last 2 years to a lot of beautiful Dutch cities. Well, there's a very fast boat going there. And now I've been taking you to Gouda, to Alkmaar, to Utrecht, to The Hague, to Delft, to all these cities, and almost all up to Hoorn also last week. And all these cities um, have beautiful old city centers, but that is a little different in Rotterdam, because Rotterdam is the most modern city in the Netherlands, quite famous because of architecture. We will also see that. We will see that later on. Oh, the flag is now quite beautiful. We will see that later on. And the main reason is that this city is not as old as all the other cities, or not as these old buildings anymore, is because it is bombed in World War II. In 1940, it is bombed by the Nazis, and since that time, almost the whole city center is bombed, and also big parts are burned down after the bombings. So that was the start of World War II. It was a day before the Dutch surrendered. So it was one of the main reasons why the Dutch in the end surrendered, because of the bombing of Rotterdam. So, but I'm gonna show you a little more of the city, and we're gonna do that. And Rotterdam is a famous harbor city. Amsterdam is a harbor city, but the newer harbor city in the Netherlands is the city of Rotterdam. Still the biggest port in Europe. For a long time, it was even the biggest port in the world. And of course, if you have a port, then there are a lot of people coming over here from all over the world. So also Rotterdam has a Chinese district and several other districts. So it's a very international city. Yeah, and where am I right now? I was showing in the pre-tour already a little, and now I'm going to change the screen so you have a little more the feeling of where we are. I can hardly see it, but now I'm standing here. I'm standing here on a very big ship. On a very big ship. And just to give you an idea, there's a beautiful place over here. It feels a little like that Stefan just had his cruise. came back into the city of Rotterdam, just ending the cruise over here. It's also a little cruise temperatures, to be honest. So, yeah, and on a cruise ship, of course, there is a swimming pool at the back part. To be honest, this swimming pool is not very deep. It's mainly for kids. So, but where I am on the SS Rotterdam, and the SS Rotterdam is the flagship, one of the main ships of the Holland America line. The Holland America line, quite famous, started in the 19th century, 1873 to be precise, and the Holland America line in that time um, transported a lot of people, a lot of Europeans that did not want to stay in Europe by that time. The peak was in the 1920s and 1930s, and so this is one of their ships. To be honest, it is the ship that was built in the 50s, that was started to sail in 1959, and it was one of the last ships that was basically built for migrants who wanted to leave Europe and wanted to start a new life in the US. So, and the interesting thing is that this ship has been in use for about 10 years, 15 years, as that line going between Rotterdam and New York. So thousands of people were on this ship. And just to give you an idea, for that time, it was the biggest ship that was ever built in the Netherlands. And it's still the biggest ship, by the way, that was ever built in the Netherlands. For a little over 3,000 people and about 1,000 people of staff in total. So 4,400 people in total. And the first years it was just going, and we see over here a beautiful picture. I think this is from the 70s, from just to give you a little the feeling. We were just on that deck, not sitting in the sun like this. No, but the first 15 years, people were coming over here to go or first class or in second class to make the trip to New York. And that was, if you wanted to go to New York, it took you about 9 days in total. 9 days in total, so a lot of people started their new life over here. Uh, Hello! Started their life over here. And just to give you an idea, there is a scale model over here of the whole ship. We will also see it from outside. But this is in a little smaller. So we were just over there on the end with where you see the little swimming pool, and we will go to the middle part of the ship. I'm not going to show you the ship because I'm going to show you several parts of Rotterdam, of course, but just to give you a little feeling of what it was. And over here, even they had their own plates. They had their own plates every time when there was a cruise. Every year they had new plates, all beautiful Delft's blue. You can every time see the SS Rotterdam. And by the way, the SS Rotterdam, I said it already. It is from 1959, and this was already the fifth SS Rotterdam. So the fifth version. The first version was there in 1873, and bit by bit the ships were getting bigger and bigger, and it was also the case for the SS Rotterdam. And look at this, we don't have Oscar, but his friend is waiting here for him. Look at that, this was especially for Oscar. Okay, I'm on the main deck, and to get to the exit is always a little tricky. I got here an hour before, or 1.5 hours before, and I got lost already 2 times on the different decks to see where I have to go to. And yeah, it is a beautiful ship, really in the with the art of the 60s that you can still really recognize. So, for example, here on the side, you can see beautiful pieces of glass that are used on the side, and there's also there are double stairs going up and down, because originally when they were building the ship there was really a separation between first class and second class. So they had their own stairways, and they were not connected to each other. So they had their own stairways, and the people from the first class could not come on the second class. So sorry, and mainly, of course, the other way around. Okay, I just hi. Just here's another beautiful scale model of the Rotterdam, and as said before, this is already the fifth version of the boat. So it became bigger and bigger. Nowadays, by the way, in use partly as a hotel. They still have some of the old items over there. So hello. Okay, I'm just going out, and just to prove that this ship really was in New York, over here, over here. You can see that it was really in New York. So you can maybe recognize some of the buildings, like I see the Chrysler building, several other ones. Of course, nowadays the skyline in New York has a lot more skyscrapers, but it gives at least a feeling. And if you're losing the audio, yeah, it can be because I'm inside the ship. And hopefully you can hear me again. Okay, I'm going outside. And just let's show you the site. We were just in this big ship. As said, the SS Rotterdam. This is entrance number 1. There were several entrances, and here on the side, on the glass, they are showing people waving. Okay, and a beautiful some poetry here on the side, and someone was already saying it that of course for a lot of people, their new life started over here. Their new life, their new options, and everything. So, I. So just to give you an idea, I'm now getting out. So it's a huge, really a huge ship. So, and back live again. Okay, did you lose me for a while? Yeah, that is possible. Maybe you just lost me at the most beautiful part. Most probably you missed the most beautiful part. But okay, what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do? We just escaped the SS Rotterdam, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cycle. And we're gonna do that a little luxury this time because um, I have this beautiful this beautiful electrical bike. This is very luxury for me. Why an electrical bike? That is because I have to cycle a little further. So that's why we're gonna do that. So let's see how that goes. I hardly ever had an electrical bike in my life. I was always using just my own pedaling power. Like, whoa. Yeah, it works. Oh, it's still quite heavy. Okay, there we go. Oh, wait, I have to maybe 1 moment. I have to do the gears a little better. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go to the front part of the SS Rotterdam. It's feeling already a little like a Titanic, isn't it? Yeah, the bell is working. Bell is working, and over here we can see, and you can also see that it's a very sunny day. But here we have the front part of the SS Rotterdam, and it is laying over here in one of the harbors, and the harbor is called over here the Maas haven or the Mooshaven. So it's named after the river where we are, and we will go from the Maashaven into the city of Rotterdam, and we're gonna see several things on the road. So, and I just have to check how this bike is working in the meantime. So the brake is working. So yeah, I still have to pedal on this bike. Yeah. It's not that it is still a bicycle. Okay, by the way, over here you can see one of the engines. I never know how you call this in Oh, now I feel it's electrical. I never know how you call this in English, but this is one of the things that is the under the cruise ship too. So okay, bye bye cruise ship. It's good to have an electrical one because then I can go a little faster. Whoa, it's going quite easy. So I'm just paddling and then I'm getting help. I'm getting help from the bike. It's making sound. Hopefully the wind. And I think also wasn't the ship the yacht of the Queen? No, 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 that was not. This was just the ship that was used the first 15 years to the people that were migrating to New York, to the US, of course, to start a new life. And but after about 15 years, what happened? The so um, so what happened? What happened after a while is that, of course, there were more and more planes coming, and it became cheaper to fly. And instead of 9 days on the water in a cruise ship, you could fly to New York in 6 to 7 hours. So what happened is that more and more people were starting to take the um, starting to take the plane. And what happened? So the sound is dipping in and out. Okay, it is a little. It should not be connected, by the way. So just let me try to thing. So you can still hear me, or is it just a little in and out, in and out, in and out the whole time? So I cannot completely control. But it is, and it is also windy. It is windy. We will have a little less wind later on. I'm now going against the wind, so but I will go to the left over there, and then it will be less, hopefully. So okay. So we're just gonna no. So the first 15 years, the ship used for was used for people that wanted to start a new life. And then after about 15 years, what happened is that um, they started using it as a cruise ship. And then they started using it as a cruise ship until the 90s. And then in the 90s, it was really old-fashioned because, of course, this ship originally was not built for cruises, but just for a 9 days trip to New York and back. So, and then there were more newer and newer ships coming. So they decided to not use it anymore, and it was ending up in the Bahamas on the scrapyards. Scrapyard. To the left here. Hopefully, most probably, it's a little less windy over here. Will try to go not too fast. No, it was ending up on the scrapyard on the Bahamas, and some companies here in Rotterdam, they were seeing this and they were like, yeah, this is the flagship, this is the biggest ship ever built in the Netherlands. We should have this back to Rotterdam. And with help of some companies, mainly of a housing company, they bought the ship, they transported it back to Rotterdam, and they made a plan to use it for all kind of things. The only problem was that they were thinking this will cost us just some millions. And it turned out that it costed hundreds of millions because, for example, they found some material inside the ship like asbest. So it took a lot of money to completely remove that. In the meantime, I'm here on one of the areas that is called Katendrecht. And Katendrecht is a quite famous part of Rotterdam. For a very long time, this was one of the worst places where you could live. And why was it such a bad place? Because traditionally, this was the area. This was the area where you were going as a seaman. As a seaman, seamen were coming over here because here was the red light district of Rotterdam. So this was the place of hookers, the place of prostitution. So for a very long time. And what happened around the years 2000, they made some plans to make this a little better. And what you see now over here, they started restoring all the buildings because a lot of them are about 100 years old, quite beautiful. They started adding some like a theater and several little restaurants and things. And nowadays it's one of these hipster places in Rotterdam where everyone wants to go. So, and yeah, that's a good question, Lynn. She's asking where is the name Rotter coming from? From rot or something like that, or from rotting? No, it has to do with, it is a little the same as with Amsterdam. I've been telling several times Amsterdam is coming because they were building a dam in the Amstel River. What they were doing over here, they were building a dam in the Rotte River. So that's another tinier river in this area. So it's not the Maas that was a little too big to make a dam, but they were making a dam. They were making a dam in the Rotte River. So that's why it is Rotterdam. And what happened with this area over here, when they built this bridge over here, so we see a bridge over here that's going from one harbor to the other harbor. Since that time, this area over here became even more popular. So we have here at the other side, we see some of the higher buildings, all modern architecture in the Rijnhaven. So this is the Rhine harbor. Here to the right, you can still see at the right some old industrial buildings. And next to the industrial buildings, there are modern apartments, a very expensive residential area. So Rotterdam really has two sides. So, and this bridge over here, what happens with a lot of things in the Netherlands, I don't know if that's something typical Dutch, but we're always naming famous buildings, naming bridges, etc. And the bridge over here has a very interesting name. In Dutch, it's called, the official name is the Rijnhavenbrug, the Rhine Harbour Bridge. Wow, that's a little boring name. So the Rotterdammers were naming this a little different. They were calling it the Hoerenlopers. The Hoerenlopers, to say my best Rotterdam's accent. And what does the Hoerenlopert mean? I think there's only one person now who understands this. Now it means the walk to the prostitutes. The walk to the prostitutes bridge. That is how Rotterdammers are calling this bridge, the Hoerenlopers. So I'm now going over the Hoerenlopers to the other side. And at the other side now we see a lot of these very big modern skyscrapers and things. And this is quite unique for the Netherlands because all the other cities don't have big buildings like this. And then here at the left side, we have a beautiful place. Sorry, my brakes are making a lot of sound, but you can maybe see it on the building already. On the building, it is showing the Holland-Amerika-lijn, the Holland-America line. So I'm just going to try my other brake. Maybe that's better. So this is nowadays Hotel New York, one of the most fancy hotels where you can stay. But this was originally the building from where people. Oh, there are two people understanding. Okay. No, this was originally the location from where people were starting their voyage to all the way to New York. So from this part at the end of, so the SS Rotterdam and also other big ships were starting over here. And it is nowadays a beautiful hotel and also a quite famous restaurant. So while the staff is now having their coffee outside, so we're probably preparing for dinner time. So it's a little windy here again. And of course, this is the end of this pier, basically. And you can see the city of Rotterdam placed chairs over here, so you can just enjoy the public place. There's a little play garden also next to the water, so it's almost like a beach. It's almost like a beach. And then Okay, I'm going here. You see several buildings of the Harbor Authority, and then the big building in front of us. All modern architecture. Sorry, it's gonna get a little windy again. I'm just warning you already. Oh, I missed the Art Deco. But yeah, there's also Art Deco. Okay, I'm not allowed to go. And then over here, you see this big building in front of us. That is from a famous architect. And then next to it, we have a modern cruise ship. Compared to the ship where I just was, this is a lot bigger. In the old well, in the old days, the cruise ships and all these ships were a lot smaller than nowadays. But it is still the location in Rotterdam. If you're making a cruise and coming to the Netherlands, then both Rotterdam and Amsterdam have their cruise harbor, and yeah, a lot of the ships are coming over here. And over here at the left side, we have the harbor building that is specifically designed for cruise ships. And this building that we're now seeing here at the left, I can show you that on the other side. So what you see over here at the left and the right side, it is modern buildings, old buildings. It's a combination. Because over here we also have still some of the older warehouses that were used for all kind of stuff in the harbor. And there's a beautiful piece of street art also here on the side. Look how beautiful this is. So I have to check because it is a little busier over here. This is some of the main bike roads. So other skyscrapers. Okay, I'm just going. It's green now, so I'm going to the other side. This bike is a little hard to cycle. It's harder than my own bike. So let's go over here on the side. So okay, next step. Next step. When we were starting the tour, you were seeing already this bridge. This bridge over here, officially called the Erasmus Bridge. Erasmus after the famous philosopher. And but of course Rotterdammers are having another name for it. Rotterdammers are calling this the Swan, the Zwaan, the Swan. So um, it is a beautiful bridge. It was costing a lot of money when they were building it in the 90s, and there was a lot to do about this bridge, but and costed double. It costed two times more than they planned the cost. So a lot of people were very angry about the bridge before it was opened. But since it opened, everyone loves this bridge because it's such a beauty. And I agree with that. And then over here at the left side, we see the front part of the cruise ship. On the side, and we have this building of our national telephone company KPN, and it is designed by Renzo Piano, one of the most famous architects. And yeah, sorry, we just missed Tattoo Bob. Tattoo Bob was on the square we were before. I'm gonna cycle over the bridge. So I'm really hoping that my electricity will work. In the meantime, by the way, just also let you show a little to the side. Here at the other side, we have the Northern Island. It's an island in the river Maas. And there at the end, you see another bridge that is the old bridge, not in use anymore, that was used for trains. So it was on the train track. For a long time, the trains were going above ground. And so they were making it, you can see how high it is, so high ships could still go under. And it's called the Hef. Basically getting uh, what pulleying the pulley. I think the pulley is the best word. Okay, I'm just going. You see, there are a lot of people on their bikes going over the bridge. Most of them was probably not electrical. Hopefully, I'm getting some electric because otherwise, yeah, it's working. Okay, there we go. It's a Rotterdam traffic. Look how beautiful this bridge is. And then here at the left side, you can see the Aida, the cruise ship. I heard from a local that almost every Thursday there's a cruise ship landing, staying over there. So I'm just going under this beautiful bridge, almost 200 meters in total to get to the other side. Here you can have the feeling a little better about the northern island. You can see the river is going on two sides. The left side is the main river and the right side is a little smaller. So, okay. Wow. Beautiful piece of architecture over here. I'm just going to at least to the highest points. You can see the rush hour is already starting. So, okay, I'm almost on the highest points now of the bridge. You can imagine if you don't have electricity, then it's quite hard to get to the top over here. So I've been living in total for about 8 years, in Rotterdam, and I've been cycling a lot over this bridge. So it is not easy. And over there we have another bridge. There are several bridges going over. That is the red one. The red one is the Willemsbrug. William, named after one of our kings. And let's look a little back at this beautiful at the swan. So from the side it looks a little more like a swan. And then right from there, the cruise ship plus the building that is now also most of the people working for the city of Rotterdam are working from there. It is by the architect Rem Koolhaas, one of the most famous Dutch architects. And people over here are calling it after what you have as a kid, as a boy. You have your first blocks to build things from wood, and it looks a little like Rem Koolhaas, that he was just looking at the work of his son or his daughter, and that he used that as a for his design of the building over there. So okay, and I'm just asking, do people use more cars and less bikes? Yeah, that is true. Although there's still, you can see how many people there are over here on the bike. So, but it is less than in Amsterdam, and that's also because the city is bigger, it's wider, and also the bike infrastructure. It is a little less than Amsterdam. So, but they're also the local government right now. The local government right now, they're really promoting cycling. So oh wait, I'm just gonna get the other one. Because I'm not going down, so I need my best brake, and the other one is making too much sound. So we're going down. It is about a hill from about 30 meters that you're going up and down now. And you see some other skyscrapers. Most of them are quite new. Like the white one is, I think, opened only a year ago. And that is now the highest, now looking at the highest tower in the highest building in Rotterdam. Okay, I'm just going down now. You see more people over there. The light is green. Let's see if we're gonna make it. But also look how many people there are here cycling. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Am I gonna make it? 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, 8. Oh, did you see? That was a flash. That was so that was a glitch in the matrix, I think. The time was going from 10 to 3, and from 3 seconds it was going back to 8 again. So, or they were seeing us coming. Just in the meantime, reading a little. I'm still cycling, of course. I have to be a little careful. I'm still trying to read the chat. And yeah, the traffic is busy, but it is also at this moment because it is rush hour, or the start of rush hour. And we're at the other side of the water, of course. And this is yeah, let's call it the richer side of Rotterdam. The other part where we started was the poorer side. And over here we see one of the more older harbors, again with a water taxi there. And in this harbor, there are a lot of old ships because Rotterdam really has a long history as the, and of course, as the biggest European harbor. So they have a big museum over there, maritime museum that has a lot of ships, and it's a little behind this black building. I think it's very warm inside on a day like this. I mean, but it's quite unique that it is so warm, to be honest, or so hot. So I was time traveling into the tour. Yeah, that's how it felt a little. Okay, and yeah, why am I cycling in Rotterdam? That's also because there is so much more. There's a lot to see, like these old cranes, for example, over here. But the distances in Rotterdam are a little bigger than in Amsterdam, so that's why I prefer to take a bicycle. And then I thought I can show you also a little more. So several old cranes, but not only that, there are also a lot of old ships laying over here. And if you have a ticket for the if you have a ticket um, for the museum, for the maritime museum, then you can also visit several of the ships that are laying over here. Okay, just going here on the cycling lane again. So I'm glad to say kids who aren't boys have blocks too. Okay, yeah. Boys, girls, everything. By the way, Rotterdam is also quite famous because not only because of the architecture, but also for a lot of modern art. So there's a beautiful and big museum, but also everywhere there is modern art. Okay, sorry, okay, we're going here to the right. And let's see, let's go on the sidewalk again. Of course, officially that is not allowed. We have to be a little careful. And then over here on the side, I have to make a stop over here. Just a little stop. I see that there's a tour group standing over there. I can also imagine why that is. And that is mainly because of this statue over here. This statue over here is the statue of Zatkin. And Zatkin is a Dutch artist, and he made this statue after after World War II, and it's also depicting World War II. What we see over here, um, we're seeing a man, and a man he has his arms going to heaven, and it's like that he's giving up. He is saying like, okay, you can get me, okay. And what you can see if you're coming more nearby, he is also screaming. He's screaming, and in the middle of his body, there is a big hole. There's a big hole, and why is there a big hole? Because this is depicting the city of Rotterdam. The city of Rotterdam, heavy bombed in 1940, and the bombs were literally reaching uh, the heart of Rotterdam. So the heart of Rotterdam, since the bombings of the Nazis, is missing. That's why we have nowadays all these modern architecture and all these skyscrapers and everything. This used to be a city as beautiful as Amsterdam, just to give you an idea. If you look at pictures of the from before 1940, you can see how beautiful Rotterdam was. So beautiful building, or beautiful statue over here that is quite important for the city of Rotterdam. Okay, we're gonna, and yes, of course, this is a tip-based tour, free to join, but I'm always doing this, and with your support, I can keep on visiting other places in Amsterdam, not just the area that is around my corner, but also other locations. So this is the first tour, by the way, from today. Later this evening, for me evening, I'm gonna do another tour and that is a tour of the windmills of Kinderdijk. That's not that far away from Rotterdam, about 30 minutes away. It's on the way. Rotterdam is on the way to the windmills. Okay, yeah. It's there. See, 1 second, another time. Okay, and thank you for the links. Okay, I'm now just going over one of the main roads, and what you can see over here that the road is quite wide. So, and it is mainly because this part of Rotterdam is all um, designed and all made after World War II. And after World War II, that was also the time of cars, the time of cars in the traffic. So they designed the whole new city with cars in their mind. So it is completely different from every other city that you have in the Netherlands designed for cars. And but of course nowadays, look at this. You can see that there are beautiful bike lanes. So okay, nearby the next stop, I have to go. You see how many people there are here on bicycles. So there are lots. I'm just going to the other side. Have to check. Going to the other side, waiting for the red light. And what you can see over here are some of the other amazing and beautiful architectural masterpieces of Rotterdam. Because at the other side are the cube houses. But not only cube houses, I'm also going to show you something else. Because we are in a central part of Rotterdam, where in weekends, by the way, is the big market. But it's over here a nice combination. So I'm just gonna have to wait, or the people can already walk, but cycling is not allowed yet. And then, by the way, at the now on the right side of your screen, you see another building from the 80s, and I don't even know the official name of this building. It has, of course, as everything, an official name, but we Rotterdammers. I was a Rotterdammer for 8 years, so I'm still feeling a little like that. Um, but uh, it's making me think about something that, as a kid, and by the way, still sometimes that I'm using, it's like a big crayon. So a big pencil that it has the shape of that, and that is how it is called in Dutch. It's called a potlood. Beautiful. So um, okay, I'm just gonna place my bike over here for a moment. So it's called a potlood, exactly. And next to the potlood, you see over here, there's another building, and that is the train station, Rotterdam Blaak. There's a train station. I was showing you before that there was an old bridge that was used for the train track for a very long time. The train was going over here above ground, and where was it going? We can still see the track because it's going all the way. You can see there is a complete open space over here, and that is because for a very long time companies were not allowed to build on top of the train tracks. So we see over here. That's why we have this big open space over here where we normally have the market. So and it is it's mainly because the train is going nowadays under here, uh, four tracks next to each other. And you can also see, and Robin, then you have a good imagination, or you can be a Rotterdammer. Now at the side, by the way, we see two buildings. So at the right side, or in the middle, now getting to the right side, we have the church over there. And the church, that is one of the only buildings that survived World War II. So the rest of the city was completely destroyed except the Laurens Church. And of course, that happens more often that you see in wars or with tornadoes or that kind of things, that the churches are surviving. And then people are saying, like, yeah, that's a sign of God. Yeah, maybe it is a sign of God. But the more practical reason is that churches have very thick walls. So even with the biggest bombs, they will not collapse very easily compared to other buildings. So they were built with such big, thick walls that they will even survive bombings. So it was, of course, damaged, heavily damaged, but it's still over there. And then here on the side, we have another amazing building. And I think I have to go one time back to Rotterdam to just show you this building from the inside. But we can take a sneak peek because this is the market hall. But not only a market hall, it is also just a residential building. On the sides, you can see on the left and the right side, they are just apartments, and in the middle part is a big market hall. And this big market hall, there's glass on the side, so you have a little reflection right now. Um, but it is a little like in Southern Europe where you have the market halls inside. To be honest, in the Dutch tradition, we always, despite our weather, we are used to have our markets outside. So this is one of the only inside market halls. And I'm just now gonna take you inside. Oh look, it's protected by the seagull. I'm going inside. It's full of little shops and things, but especially want you to show you the ceiling of the market hall. And you can see there's a beautiful ceiling, and in between now and then there are windows. These are windows of the apartments or from the bedrooms of people living over here. So it's amazing that you can live in, yeah, what is it, in the wall of the market. And there is a very big mosaic on the uh, on the ceiling, and what you can see is they added all kind of things, fruits, vegetables that you can fish that you can get over here on the market. So it is an amazing piece of architecture. And then in the meantime, yeah, you can get all kind of stuff over here, literally food from all over the world, from typical Dutch food to food. I was just passing a Moroccan place, but this is yeah. I just wanted to show you over here a little peek of the market hall itself, and yeah, it is a little like you're coming in an old cathedral. Is it where Michelangelo, Michelangelo or another artist painted the roof? Now we have something like that, only of course a lot more modern here in the market hall. And over there you can see the fish and see butterflies and everything. So it's amazing. And then just to also to give you a little the feeling, it is of course a beautiful and warm day. You can see everywhere people can buy nuts. I see Greek food. I see over there's Dutch food. There are churros from Spain. Madame Cocos. Oh, that is coconut pastry. We can have Moroccan food. We can have a lot of nuts everywhere. So it is. And yes, Robin, if you're living over here, you just can go downside. And it's even there are several levels under. We're now on the ground level, but you can also go down. So there are several levels under. So with more shops, with a parking garage, with even on minus, I think it's -4 maximum. There's also a big supermarket. So everything is, it's a little like the modern Sistine Chapel. Yeah, maybe that's a little too much, but I think now Michelangelo will be not so happy when we're saying that. But and they also have a lot of chocolate over here. But yeah, all the birthdays of people were already done. Over here, there are all kinds of dragon bread. There's all kind of other things. Yeah, there's all kind of things that you can get over here. So I think after this tour, I have to come back. The Greek pie shop. I'm just going out again. You can have a piece of art from your eyes. So If you want your eyes on the wall, then you can take a picture over here, 49 euros, and then you get your own eye in a gallery. You can hang your own eye in a gallery. Okay, let's see if yeah, my bike is still there. I'm just going to the other side. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Robin. Missed your birthday. Over there, by the way, you see the building with the yellow pipes. That is the the big central library of Rotterdam, and it is also a typical 80s building, inspired by the Centre Pompidou in Paris. So the Centre Pompidou, you've maybe seen that with one of my colleagues. So where you have this amazing art museum, what it is, modern art museum, where all the pipes and all the things are on the outside. And inspired by that, the Rotterdam Library did the same. So, okay, I'm just going a little to the other side, nearby the Crayon. So, over here, I'm gonna park my bike again on the side here. Okay, park on the side. So, and oh, by the way, one other thing, I'm just gonna use that right now. You see this more and more often in the Netherlands, and this is a very specific one, and it's very nice on a hot day like today. You can see over here, drinking water, and this is in the colors of our national railways. But over here, I can something. So let's do that. If it's working, yeah, it works. This is not the best one tour, but I'm thirsty. So you have this on a lot of places in the Netherlands. So I'm gonna change the screen again, and then I'm going here. We have over here the famous, really famous cube houses. Yeah, I know. Thank you, thank you. I know. So he's was saying that I can visit one of the houses. I'm not gonna do that, or not today, um, because my colleague Kelsey, she was in Rotterdam, I think last year, and she made a video of going inside one of these cube houses. Really unique architecture, also from the 1980s again. And I thought like, okay, you're going there, so I'm not gonna do the same. And but it is unique. It is quite unique to live in a house like this, because you can see it. They're all like cubes, so all like cubes that are tilted a little. And if you're inside, then it is a complete different way of living. So all your walls are tilted, literally all of them. And it's, by the way, designed by an architect that is named Piet Blom. Very Dutch name, by the way. Piet Blom, he designed this, and there are two locations in the Netherlands where you can find them. So one of them here in Rotterdam, but this was his second project. Originally, the plan was to build even more here in Rotterdam, but yeah, how that goes. So he made first some of these cube houses in Helmond, another Dutch city, and then so many people loved it that the city of Rotterdam was also asking, "Can you do this in Rotterdam too?" And in 1982, they opened the cube houses over here. There are several, and most of them are just residential places where people are living. So, as you can see over here, most of them, by the way, and you can see that over there, they have a roof terrace. So, you of course have to go inside your house. Like over here, we see the door number 61, and you first have some stairs. Then on the floors you have some little rooms, then your living room, including the kitchen, and on the top you have your bedrooms. So, but again, I can recommend you check out the tour of Kelsey. She is she's gonna visit the one inside that's called that's by the way the one over here in front of us, number 70, the kijkkubus. So that in Dutch is that the uh, looking, yeah, the look cube. So yeah, but most of the other ones are all just houses, just residential houses. Of course, if you want furniture, you almost have to make that specifically for your own house. And then there are two big ones, and these big ones are in use as a hostel right now. So you can also, if you're visiting Rotterdam, if you want to stay in a youth hostel, then you can uh, go inside and look at it. So how do they clean the windows? Yeah, you can of course you can open your windows. Most of these windows can be opened. We can see it over here. So, but they so now you have to be very careful when cleaning. But most probably they also have people doing that for them. I mean, and the ones on top are a little easier because you can just hang out of the window. So and yes, the crayon and the cube. Yeah, that was a nice view. Okay, I'm just going back to my bike, and as what I said before, um, this weekend you can already watch inside, and I will also come back myself another time in Rotterdam. I have a very busy program today with a lot of things, several things that I've been filming today for tours later on in the season. I mean, winter time is coming, so I also need some things for winter time. So that's also why I'm today in Rotterdam. So it's a day full of preparing, doing this tour, and preparing for potential other tours in the future. Oh, my bike is still over there. That's unbelievable. So yeah, so it is an interesting combination over here of the crayon, the cube houses, and then next to that the library, all typical 1980s uh, modern architecture. And yeah, that is really Rotterdam. Rotterdam is really the city of modern architecture, and that started after World War II. They had to redo the city, and then they decided, okay, if we have to redo the city, then why not ask famous architects? So from the 60s onwards, that was the plan, and it's still happening even nowadays. Okay, I have to go to the other side. Be a little careful. There's a tram maybe over here. Oh yes, I have an electrical bike. Okay, I'm just gonna show you the last part over here. The last part, and then I'm gonna end the tour. There's another beautiful harbor just around the corner over here. So some last views on the cube houses here on my right. You can also see that the road is just going under, so it's also interesting how they are a little higher the than the rest of the buildings. Okay, so we're waiting here for the red light. So you can see it's a specific one for bicycles, so a smaller one in front of you, and there is a bigger one on top. And why is there a smaller one in front? Because it can be sunny, and the sun can be very very low. So that's why they have a second one to see it a little better. And it's green. Okay, whoa, there we go. Woo! It's really going quite fast. Okay, We're going here to the right. All bike lanes again. Oh, some beautiful green walls over there. Just painted green walls. And then over here we have the harbor that is called the Old Harbor. The Old Harbor, and by the way, there is more green over here. Look, there's a whole team. No, there's more. This is the Old Harbor with more old ships over here on the side. And nowadays, this is also a famous location where people are coming to have drinks. So it's really beautiful over here. But let's go here on the side to have a better view. Have to go over another bridge. There's still a dock here on the side where they're still in use, by the way, to repair ships, repair these old ships. We're next to the other bridge, more modern architecture, the red Willems Bridge. I just have to go around. Here we see again the cube houses with the crayon. Okay, I'm going here to the right, and then we can see it a little better. And what you can also see over here, old and new, older, newer, everything is here together in the city of Rotterdam, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much. So, okay, I'm just going here on the side. So there's a whole collection over here of old ships that are just laying over here. Some of them are houses where people are living on there. Other ones are in use as tiny hotels, and some of them are still in use to sail. So they're coming outside of the harbor to sail over, for example, the lakes in the Netherlands, the bigger lakes and the parts of the sea nearby Zeeland, nearby Sealand. So look at that. So it's a really a nice part of the harbor again. And then of course with the cube houses here at the end. So, and I'm just gonna go here on the sides. There's from almost every ship, like the one over here, the Dolce Vita. Also telling you it's from 1919, so most of the ships over here, they are from steel, so they are from the 1920s, 1910s, 1920s, so 100 or a little longer, so or a little older. But it's beautiful to have this collection of this old heritage here, all next to each other in the heart of the city of Rotterdam. So, so I want to thank you. I'm just gonna change the screen. I want to thank you for joining me today. Um, to show you a little part of Rotterdam. It was not even enough. I mean, I had my electrical bike, but it was still too much. But we have seen part of Rotterdam South, the southern part. That's where we started, and also the other side of the river. So some modern architecture, old ships, and a lot of other things. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining. Thank you also for the support. That's how I can keep on doing these tours. So your tips, but also I know several of you are sponsoring me or are member via Buy Me a Coffee, and that is how I can keep on doing these tours. Like a tour like today is literally where I'm using the membership for. So to get transport over here to visit several places inside because I prepared at least two other tours today that will be presented somewhere in the winter time. And of course, I'm also gonna visit the windmill, so it will be a lot of nice views, nice shows. So thank you again from Rotterdam. I hope to see you again, maybe later today, and otherwise in the coming days, because there's a lot more to go check. tomorrow when I'm going to Nijmegen, the oldest city in the Netherlands. Check Sunday when I'm gonna do the heather fields. So that will be a beautiful Sunday stroll. So hopefully to see you again. I'm just gonna use my sunglasses again. Hope to see you again. Bye bye. If I can find the stop, and I'm always struggling with this, and that's because when I'm touching my screen, then it's opening as if I want to type something, and I don't want. I just want to the stop button.